beg thee pardon.
Thou art too old. Age hath withered thee. Custom hath staled thy variety. Nay longer doth thou shine like a cherub's bare bottom. Thy face, pubic with hair, hath man aged you. Thy voice, deep and disparaging, scares the audience into transvesticism. My fair woman becoming fair man on stage, right before my very eyes. Alas, fair Peter, thou canst be mine no more. Do all actors have the wit of bottom-dwelling fish? Peter, thy service is required no more than I require a case of syphilis. Hark, the clock strikes midnight.
Thou art firing me?
I do desire we may be better strangers.
Confusion strikes me. I am a leading lady.
Words, a leading lady.
I am Peter Banksbridge. Thou hast my name pitter-patter from the boards of Stratford to the high hallows of Hampton Court.
I envy a fustian man as I envy the engendering of toads.
Who art thou to fire me?
William Shakespeare.
A piddling name that will be forgotten as yearly as it is spoke.
Puberty has struck thee, and thou art too bewhiskered, pompous, and pea-brained to play the nurse. So fare thee well, thou talentless Trojan.
Do my eyes dissemble me? Did thou usher me out as though thou wouldst one of thy whores?
My whore would take her leave, knowing her cue. Wherefore do whores depart more readily than players with flaws?
Thy heart is crammed with arrogancy, spleen, and pride.
I beg that thou mayst have leave to hang thyself.
Too old. Thou art too old. Age hath staled thee. Custom has withered thy pen.
My pen is not withered.
'Tis withered and writes with dull ink.
How darest thou?
Thou slapst by the book.
Oh! Would thou wert gifted enough to spit upon.
Thou hast sucked the girlish youth out of my tender soul and left me to rot like some ill-winded town idiot.
Thou'rt a tale of woe told by a talentless fool. Out, out, brief candle. Thou art a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. Thou'rt a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. That's good. I must remember
A
that.
female flower plucked up by a writer's pen. Thou vile, ungrateful canter, thou insinuating worm, I shall kill thee with the same grace thou gavest me. None. Alas.
Alas, my honesty hath doomed me. This play has lost his props.
Thou hast not time for asides. Prepare to die.
If you prick us, doth we not bleed? If you tickle us, doth we not laugh? If you poison us, doth we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? Thrust through my own side. Oh, treacherous poetry, thou hast made me a grave man. Aye, a scratch. Marry, 'tis enough. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we are shuffled off this mortal coin must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. And that is what a proper stage death should look like. Next time, fool, don't use a prop sword.